Hey everyone, this is Fred of Kaz-Magic Arts. Welcome to another video of learning how to draw. What we are going to do in this video today is that we are going to concentrate on the back of the torso. I only have been able to show you guys just the front of the torso in the previous video. So this time I just want to concentrate on the back of it so that way you guys can have an idea just in case if you are trying to actually draw somebody from a reverse view or a back view. I was going to actually concentrate on showing you guys the hip area, but I want to save that for another video. So this is just a continued lesson for the torso area. Alright, so back torso is actually a little bit easier to do than the front torso. So I'm going to go ahead and say that you can continue with that same technique that I discussed in the previous video, starting with either like a square or a circle for the upper part of the torso, and then you can get a line to go down. Now keep in mind that this line here actually represents the spine. I failed to mention that in the previous video, but pretty much that is your spine area, and you still have your circles here for the shoulder area. Alright, so as I mentioned before, the back torso is actually a lot easier to do than the front torso because it's very less detailed, but still you want to actually be in proportion of what you're going to actually do with everything else. So with that being said, sorry, looks like the video may have to adjust a little bit, but anyway, so you got your butterfly wings, or should I say the shoulder pads, something, I forgot exactly what it's called, but it's a bone that actually protects the back part of the upper rib. So you got that, and that is going to actually be a part of the upper part of the torso, and you can actually bring this down. I'm actually showing an example for the male. And you still got your little shoulder idea here. And you can do the back of the neck, bottom part if you want to. Since this is much easier to do, I may actually go ahead and give you guys a little bit of a lesson for the hip area. Alright, and you can end this part here by with this going down. And you can go into detail here if you want to for adding in more lines to actually show where their ribs are. Because if you're really thinking about how it is for the rib area, yeah, this right here is the blueprint of the body, but you've got to think about like how far will the ribs actually expand, because the thing is that this here does represent like the inner part of the human body, but when you actually think about like other things like with the ribs and the organs and all, it's actually a lot more going on. So you actually want it to look a little bit realistic if that's what you're going for. But anyway, let's erase all that extra blueprint in there, and that way you can actually see what that looks like. this back in there. Pretty much that is your part for me, I'm sorry, your back area for the torso for the human body on the male. It's pretty much the same as the female, except for, like I mentioned before in the previous videos, that the female will have a totally different shape to them. And I can go ahead and make a sample of that right now. And one thing about the female body to actually remember as well is that it's still very sensual. It is a very sensual thing to have, you know, when you're actually visualizing the anatomy of a woman in general. And like the male, I am going to have the rib area, but I'm also going to make like a curve that's going to go back out, and I'll explain later why the curve has to go back out. And my shoulders here. And then it's got the little blades under there. I have to go back into my anatomy for the artist book and actually find out what that is called. I used to be really good at this in human anatomy when I was in high school. The bones were a lot easier to remember than the muscles. But I know that there's like the latissimus dorsi, which is this area here. That's the muscle area. But that's for any of you that are currently in medical school. You'll learn more about that though. Alright, so let's go ahead and erase that extra detail. Alright, so there's your male, and here's your female. And I can actually do like a quick reference for anybody that may be needing a quick guide, or to actually see how I do it without using those techniques, because the techniques actually just helps guide you to actually making good proportions. You can do this without those blueprints, but I highly recommend getting used to doing it with the blueprints before you actually jump into doing it without the blueprints. But for me, I actually have been doing it for a long time without the blueprints. Added the arms in there. I shouldn't have added the arms, but just doesn't look right if I just do that and then I don't have the arms in there. I'm not going to draw the hands. The hands will be the very last thing I'll teach anybody. It's still the hardest for even me to actually get used to. But yeah, there's your back torso. of the human body, and I did give it out. I did give out some websites on the last video of where you can actually go to actually learn the torso. I'm sorry, the anatomy of the human body, like Postmaniacs and DeviantArt. There are still some others out there that I may have not actually come across quite just yet, and I am going to actually do some research for you guys. And you could even like visit my art page on Facebook to actually find out what websites I use, or I can recommend to actually uh, be able to actually do the human body studies a little bit better. But anywho, hopefully I'm going to try to do some live videos very soon. I am trying to work my way to that. I have recently done a live video on just my normal Facebook page, but tomorrow I will be doing, well, I don't know why I say tomorrow. Just people probably catch this video a little bit late, but I will also be doing a live video for 1 hour on my art page on Facebook, answering questions and actually giving people a history of Kaz-Magic arts. But you guys take care, and thank you for watching this video.